Which of the following statements is incorrect? So we're looking for which is not true. And if we look at all our choices, you might know that they all involve the spleen. So just to note on this diagram, the spleen is an organ which inside your abdominal cavity. So just to label nearby organs so you could have an idea of what we're talking about. This is the liver right here. And then this small structure would be your gallbladder. This is part of the intestinal tract. This is your pancreas. And then this is your spleen. And the spleen is nicknamed like the graveyard, so the grave of red blood cells. So this is what helps filter and destroy old red blood cells so we don't have too many floating around, and then we can make room for newer ones. So based on what we know, let's see if we can go through the choices and make some eliminations. So option A is saying the spleen is located in the left upper quadrant of the abdomen. So let's just draw a quick little diagram. Just anytime you have any abdominal questions that talk about location, just a little quadrant for yourself to help you remember where certain organs, certain key organs are located so you can answer these questions. So this is not going to be a comprehensive list, but just so you have an idea, and just as a reminder, this is our right and this is the left because we're looking at it from the patient's perspective. Your upper right quadrant is where your liver is located. So some people think like you live right, like living the right way. Just remember it's the upper, not the lower. The upper would be the liver. Lower is your appendix. That's classic because if someone has lower right quadrant pain, you'd be concerned for appendicitis. So that's a good key tip to remember. Your spleen would be in your upper left. So spleen would be over here. And then lower left, the only main thing really is the bowel. So if someone's very constipated, they might have pain there. So these are just the general big time organs to note for each quadrant. So if there's questions about a patient having pain in one of those quadrants, you can have an idea of which key organs would be affected in all those areas. So we know that option A, which is saying the spleen is located in the left upper quadrant, is correct. The question is asking for something incorrect, so we can eliminate option A. Option B is saying that the spleen is the final destination for erythrocytes, and that's written in quotes, which seems like another way of wording the spleen graveyard, which we've seen in other questions. Final destination meaning that the erythrocytes, or the red blood cells, would be eliminated, destroyed, gotten rid of in the spleen as a final destination because this is when they're very old. And that is correct. The question is asking for an incorrect statement, so we can eliminate option B. Option C is saying that the spleen filters blood, and that's looking like a correct statement. The spleen absolutely would go through red blood cells. That's how we're filtering out the blood cells that are no longer needed. That's looking like a correct statement. So we'll circle it, but let's just take a look at option D. Option D is saying that the spleen is the primary site for hematopoiesis, or creation of new red blood cells, so new RBCs. And this would not occur at the spleen site. This would actually happen at the bone marrow. So if you hear about someone needing bone marrow transplant, so they could produce more blood cells that are healthy, that's what that's referring to. So we can eliminate option D. So option C, the spleen filters blood, would be the correct answer to this question.